at least make them less lethal in some capacity. So most GM stuff is, well, I don't say most, but some GM practices are for that. It's like, how can we genetically modify this thing to make it less dangerous? How can we modify this thing to make it live longer? How can we modify this thing to produce faster? How can we modify this thing to do this, that, da, 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 da. But at the end of the day, I think it's all for the betterment of mankind, because everybody doesn't have access to like grocery stores and shit like maybe you do. So, you know, maybe they do need like some genetically modified shit that has a longer shelf life because they don't really have like refrigeration. And maybe they do need like some freeze dried, you know, it's just little things like that as an example. You know, you can't like project your quality of life into other parts of the world and be like, oh, they're using fucking preservatives over there. It's like, yeah, because they don't have refrigerators over there. And it's like, that part. Like, yeah, you know. So, that part. Yeah, we getting through this quick. Nope. Nope. What are your thoughts on mandated vaccination to be a part of society? I agree with it. 99% for sure. Are there any positions that are appointed you think should be elected? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think that those appointed positions should just be way more who does the appointing, maybe the piece. But I also don't think the problem with appointments isn't necessarily the appointments themselves. The problem with the appointments is the term of the appointment. So like, I don't think that there should be like lifetime terms on anything. So he's in there for life. He'll be an appellate judge for life, or she'll be on the Supreme Court for life. I don't agree with that shit at all. And that's where appointments really become an issue and a factor. By the nature of democracy and diversity, you're going to have people that are voted for and elected that you don't agree with. And they're going to have to build their teams and their administrations with people who you don't agree with either. But it's a cycle. It'll come back around and you have somebody that you really agree with, and then they'll have their shit, blah, blah, blah. But what doesn't change are some of these lifetime positions, where that game of people being bulletproof, you know, is like, I don't agree with that. So the lifetime appointments, I think, need a little bit more scrutiny. But in terms of like an elected position that can be transferred, or appointed position that can be transferred into an elected position, I don't really see where that will take place. But then I also think that you need to do more due diligence on what those appointed positions are. So like, generals aren't necessarily appointed. They may be appointed to like a task force or like some type of committee or something like that. But their actual generalship isn't something that's appointed. It's something that's like earned through service and promotion and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different when you think about, well, what about these generals? It's like, well, you know, generals can make the case and say, well, you know, I didn't get appointed, I earned my job, you know, and I have the expertise to provide, you know, some type of point of view to this elected official that they don't have. Because most elected officials aren't fucking geniuses in their in all these different capacities that they're asked to be on. Like, you're on the Senate Intelligence Committee? Like, yes. Like, were you a secret agent at one time? Like, no. What the fuck are you doing on this committee then? It's like, well, you know, it's appointed, baby. It's like, oh shit. So that part. Questions. Do you think guns are too easy to purchase? I think guns are too easy to make. But yes, in certain places, guns are really easy to purchase, and it's ridiculous. But in some places, it's really fucking hard, and it's ridiculous. But it all depends. Again, I'm a second rights amendment person for sure. Until they make that shit illegal, then I won't be. But as of now, yes. So yes, I think there's places where it's too hard, and I think there's certain places where it's fucking stupid. The gun laws that are put in place, and how those gun laws aren't really robust or rigorous. They don't take into consideration common sense. And you'll see gun laws in certain states that are fucking stupid. And you'll see gun laws in other states which are just fucking stupid, but for a different reason. They're too loose or too lax. So it all depends. But again, and I want to kind of clarify this. For a lot of crime, legal guns, right, aren't like the issue. The issue is illegal guns, right? Or it's guns that started off legal that became illegal in the process or handing it off. So that's what you kind of got to be worried about, because there's no way to really police that. Anybody, you can go in a grocery store and buy like some orange juice, right? Like, I'm gonna buy this orange juice. Like, okay, it's legal. Buy this orange juice. And you can walk right out that side that grocery store, see like an old man and run up and beat him to death with that orange juice. And you're like, fucking beat that old man to death. Like, fucking orange juice is too easy to buy orange juice, man. Gotta fucking put this orange juice out, right? Even say, but orange juice isn't designed to kill. Not yet. That's because I'm not president. Because if I was president, orange juice would be fucking lethal. But anyway, that's another side theory. But that piece is, the anecdote is that, and actually orange juice, well, let's not get into that. Orange juice is designed to kill, because that shit ain't nothing but sugar, but it's delicious. But anyway, and what do people die from the most? Heart disease, and like, oh shit, sugar is like completely related to heart disease. I'm like, oh fuck, and we're just drinking sugar water, like, oh fuck, so maybe it is designed to kill. Maybe we should have like limits on orange juice, because this shit kills us. But anyway, what was I saying? Yes. So some of it is the stuff that you can't police. And so it becomes like, all right, if you didn't have guns in the first place, then you would have to worry about it. And it's like, that's true. So I'm with you. That's why I said the bigger problem is that guns are too easy to make. Like, there's still companies that make guns every day. There's a company right now somewhere in America making guns, right? And like has no problem making that shit, whether it be a school shooting or some gang shit or whatever. They're like, yeah, we still gonna make these guns. Like, for what? Why do y'all keep making all of these guns? So it's like a different, like, where's the focus? Because that's just on the retail side. Like, oh, the retailers like, look, if this shit went in existence, we wouldn't be able to sell it. You're like, you're right. So you got to back up. Like, well, who's making it? It's like, well, all these gun manufacturers that are here and in Europe that make these guns. And if you have an issue, maybe you should go to the source and not kind of the middleman, because the middleman is just gonna be like, look, man, this is what it is. If we didn't have access to it, then we wouldn't sell it. So it's the same argument where you say, well, if guns didn't exist, you wouldn't have to worry about policing guns or coming up with these real laws, because you wouldn't have them in the first place. And the gun retailer would tell you the same thing. You're like, you're right. Now, if you can get Smith & Wesson and Ruger and all these other companies to like put a moratorium on actual gun manufacturing, then you would at least decrease the supply of new things coming into the market. And then the flip side of that is, then if you had gun laws on the other side, or you created incentives to remove guns from the population, then at least you would be doing something. But if you're making twice as many guns as guns are being pulled off the street, then this shit is stupid. That's why I said some of the gun law shit is stupid, because it's like you're trying to make this gun safer, but it's like, why don't you just not make the fucking gun? Then you won't have to worry about it. But anyway, that part. Yeah, I don't look at the comments because the comments get stupid. Where are we? What do you think about the chief NY department comments he made on television? I didn't watch it. I'm actually tuning out, to be honest, y'all. I'm at the point where it's like, I'm burning out on all this shit. And it's not because, it's because I've already done all this shit before. You know, it's like, yo, I've been doing this shit for 15 years. Like, I know what the police are going to say. I've been had issues with the police, and I've been had issues. Like, we've been doing this shit. So at this point, I'm kind of getting burnt out about people just constantly getting upset about people who they know are fucked up, saying the fucked up shit that they've always said. It's like, did you know what that nigga just said? Like, that's what he says all the time. Man, you know how these fries taste? Like, this how they taste, man. It's French fries, motherfucker. What did you think it was going to taste like? Nigga, that's shit supposed to change, man. I want French fries taste like pizza, nigga. Like, oh, man. Okay. Why don't you just eat some pizza then? Like, no, fuck that, bitch. I want some pizza fries. Like, all right. So I'm getting a little burnt out on the shit. Strategies are in place. Plans are in place. I'm doing my shit on the low. So, you know, I'm just kind of like, I'm not worried about what police are saying right now. Like, I really don't give a fuck. This is from his what? High Society Ton. Okay. Do you think Native Americans are really Africans that first discovered the land? No, man. No. Like, Lou, why you gotta be so aggressive? You're right. No. I don't believe that. Where's your evidence? Where's the archaeological evidence that that's what happened? Why don't you just let Native Americans be Native Americans? Why you being racist? Like, oh man, they were African. Like, bro, everybody wasn't African, man. Like, no, they were. That, you know, that's racist, right? It's not racist. Like, yeah, it's racist. Like, you got a group of people who are alive today, who have prosperous communities, who speak languages and have culture thousands of years deep, and you just want to come in and just say, y'all know y'all African, right? Man, say that shit on a resi somewhere, they're gonna beat your ass because they got gangs and all kinds of shit on the reservation. You'll get your ass lit up walking on a reservation and trying to tell them people that they African. Like, what? What are you talking about? Man, you African, right? You know that, right? Like, no, I understand what you're trying to say, that all of humanity came out of Africa. But when you talk about just African as a culture, nigga, we're not African and we're not from Africa, B. Like, chill out. At a certain point, you got to give people credit for where they are and the cultures that they build. And yes, all of humanity can be traced back genetically to Africa, but people evolve, and context and environments change people's points of view. And not necessarily change their points of view. It actually changes them physically, right, to adapt to the circumstances in which they are in. And you have to give them credit for that. Circumstances that don't exist in Africa, right? So yes, people came out of Africa and went to Europe and they adapted to Europe. People went out of Europe or went out of Africa, went to Asia and adapted to Asia. People went out of this. So like, it comes across as like, as much as you hate white people, when you say like, oh, but you know, everybody was African, that shit makes you look racist. But we are racist. Black people can't be racist. I thought you said black people can't be racist, motherfucker. Like, so what you got me in a catch-22, Lupe? What you trying to say? That you put me in like a logic trap that I can't really debate myself out of? Because if I agree with you, then I have to throw away all of the shit that I've learned through the years. But if I disagree with you, that means I'm like staunchly placed in a position of like racism. Like, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. Like, oh, okay. You know what that's paramount. You know what that's kind of close to saying. People ain't gonna like this, but it's kind of close to saying when you say that. You can have a white person say, well, you know you white. They're like, what? What are you talking about? I'm white. Nigga, I'm not white. Like, you got white blood in you. Like, no, I don't. Do your 23andMe. Like, Let's do this 20. You mean Michael Jordan? What's 23andMe? The Bulls? Nigga, I got Michael Jordan jerseys. He's black. Nigga, do 23andMe. All right. You do 23andMe, and 40% of your shit pop up Irish, and you sitting there like, damn. Or you got some Italian in you. Like, damn, I didn't know we was Italian. What the fuck? Like, yeah, now you white. Like, I'm not white. Oh, you got white in you. Indians is African, nigga. Like, okay, you white. Like, fuck. Beware that 23andMe blow your whole world up. They be like, shit, man, I got a cousin in Nebraska. Fuck. Let me see. Abu Bakr II sailed to the Americas with 2,000 ships from West Africa hundreds of years before Columbus. 2,000 ships? 2,000 ships? All right, let's break this down. So he sailed from West Africa. Okay? Abu Bakr II sailed from West Africa with 2,000 ships. That don't even sound right. But okay. Okay. Where are these ships? Where are these ships? Where's the evidence for this? That sounds absolutely batshit crazy. But I'm a roll with it because, you know, I'm here for that. And he was hundreds of years before Columbus. Okay, Columbus came in 1492. So if it's just hundreds of years before Columbus, let's just say that's what, 1292. It was already people around. Like it was already people. It was already people. Anyway, 2,000 ships. That's crazy. Where are these ships? How do you feel about? We already talked about that. Bruh, I'm gonna let you know right now. There ain't finna be no shout to Blacklight 8. Stop it. Stop it. Hold up. I'm telling myself to stop it. Because I'm telling y'all to stop. Because I want to laugh, but I don't want to laugh because I want to be respectful. But let's talk about this. So how do you feel about these mandated vaccines having RFID chips in them? First of all, you show me a chip that's small enough to go through the tip of a syringe and still have enough power and be big enough to power itself and send a signal. That technology. Somebody send me a link in the comments right now to this technology that has all of those features. One of you show me this. You show me this, I'm with you. I got you. I can show you a bee. Nigga, I'll show you a fly with a computer chip attached to his brain that was implanted when it was still a larvae that scientists are able to control like a goddamn remote control car. I'll show you that for sure. Now you show me a microchip that has all of the properties that I just mentioned, and I'm with you. I'm with you. Show me this. What do you think of Chinese investment in Africa infrastructure, good or bad? Depends. Depends. I always use the example. Well, I've genuinely started to use it generally, and has recently started to use the example of Idi Amin and his expulsion of the Indians, the actual Indians, not like Native American Indians who aren't even really Indians because the shit's not India, but actually people from India who actually via Britain though, so they're kind of British Indians who are brought into. What was Idi Amin's country? What was the name of that place? I can't even remember. Where's Idi Amin's country? Like, Lupe, you don't even know your maps? Like, man, no, I don't. I forgot. Where's Idi Amin from? My mind is like Zanzibar. Not Ethiopia. Uganda? Okay, Uganda. Got you. When Idi Amin expelled all of the Indians from Uganda, but the Indians were basically, for better or worse, they were the business class. And when he kicked them out, the country just fucking collapsed, at least economically. So to the point now where you fast forward to today, they're trying to bring those people, the people that were born in, like Indians who were born in Uganda, they're trying to bring those people back, or people who set up factories to kind of teach people how to set up factories and run shit. So I always use that as an example, as kind of like, here's a foreign power coming into Africa, setting up business, then was expelled from Africa under the pretense of racial superiority, corruption, all those legit things, which were true, that Idi Amin kind of pressed upon them. Racism, all types of goofy shit. But at the same time, too, when you throw the baby out with the bathwater, it also took away all of the benefits that they were adding to society. And then the consequences of that is that the Ugandan economy collapsed. So using that as kind of like the case study, you look at things like today. So you have China, a foreign power, investing into a country, building infrastructure, and what happens is, after the places where China is investing or are allowed to invest, are those places capable of the type of infrastructure building and management and, market making that the Chinese are able to do purely off their scale and access to kind of resource? And if so, then no. Then you don't need that if you're able to do it yourself. Now, if you're not able to do it yourself, or there's no will within the population, or there's no will in the political class, okay, cool. There's no will in the political class of what do you call it? There's no will in the political class to do that type of infrastructure building. Then it will behoove you to take a second look at what are the evils of having these people in your country, because you're never going to get it pure. There's nobody that's going to invest in your country that's not going to want to take shit from you. That's part of the game. It's reciprocating value. So if you demonize value reciprocation based on whatever history, tradition, culture, superiority, whatever, then you're setting yourself up to fail, all in the door. Because there's always, in negotiation, you're never going to get everything that you want. And if everything that you want also includes those people not getting everything that they want, I mean, the shit's fucked. So I would say approach it with a certain sense of you gotta do a real thorough cost benefit analysis before you make decisions like that. And if you base it on race, I guarantee you, if you base it on race, you're going to fuck yourself. Because every time somebody base something on race, they get fucked. So you got to kind of look at it as like, where's the optimal position? And how can we get towards that optimal position where both parties are satisfied? But then even in that optimal position, what is the downside? It's a cost benefit analysis, basically. Apply that. What books do I recommend on the topic? If we're talking about cost benefit analysis, I mean, just Google cost-benefit analysis. It's universal. It's not tied to any really historical tradition. There's not one school that teaches it better or one book that probably says it better. But it's depending on your level of education, what you're able to understand. Because there's a lot of math attached to it if you want to be really mathematical. The other one is just general kind of assessment of circumstances and situation. But you also got to be tuned in to kind of like the way markets are flowing, the currency markets, resource markets, all this other shit. The situations that are happening around and in certain countries, their access to certain ports and resources and blah, 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 blah. Like there's all these other elements depending if you really want to do an actual cost benefit analysis of a particular country. Like I suggest that you start at the CIA, CIA.gov. Why do you say that, Wasalu? Why do you say the CIA.gov? Why do we need to go to CIA.gov? I'll show you. It's a good place to start. Because the CIA.gov on their website, they have, I think they still got it. I'm checking to see. Let's say Uganda. Let's just type in Uganda. Yeah. So the CIA has something called the World Factbook, which is this. And basically what it kind of allows you to do is you go to their library. And what the CIA has kind of done is done these like briefs on the countries, right? And so you can say like the economy of Uganda. So we'll like click that. And it has like this brief of up until 2018, I think, is what it looks like. And you'll get all of this kind of like information about, the Ugandan economy, right? And then you could say, but what about the people in the society? And you say, here's the ethnic groups. Here's all these layers. So when I say you want to have a kind of a comprehensive insight when you start doing your cost benefit analysis on situations like that, you got to kind of get as much information as you can. And for as much as they fuck up shit, the CIA is very, very information based when they do fuck up shit. And, in some cases they may help some shit. You never know. But yeah, so there's all of the stats, the statistics, all of that shit. Major urban areas, urbanization, how much of it is urbanized, what's the rate of urbanization, mother fertility and infant mortality and fecundity, all of that stuff is on here. Drinking water, so all those details and information, which is they're the central they're the central intelligence agencies. It's central intelligence, like it's intelligence, and this is what this is. So these briefs are open to the public. It's a great place to see all of the information just in one place, as of a certain year. So as of 2018, some of the stats. So some of the data might be a little old, but again, it's very robust, and that people actually use this to strategize and plan, whether it be interventions or diplomatic what have yous. Like, it's not like a secret. That's why I always tell people, like, people are so interested in like the secrets, like Area 51. It's like, bro, you can just go to CIA.gov and that shit will blow your mind. Right? The shit that actually is available and open to the public, to me, is way more interesting than what secret airplane they're testing at fucking Area 51. And it's more meaningful. You can't really do shit with that alien technology, but you definitely can do something with this brief on Uganda. What else they got? So yeah, if you go to CIA.gov, and what is this? Appendices, cross-reference list of country data codes. What is this? Yeah. The shit's the shit. The fact book, the World Fact Book over at CIA.gov. Check it out. You're welcome.